Welcome to Our Communiversity Today, sponsored by Pendleton Community Bank and Cucumber and Company, a community affairs program from West Virginia Institute of Technology in Beckley, hosted by Dr. T. Ramon Stuart, president of West Virginia University Institute of Technology, working to make a difference in Southern West Virginia. Guest opinions expressed on this program may not represent the opinions of West Virginia University Institute of Technology, Southern Communications, or its sponsors. And now, with today's program, here's Dr. Stuart.
Welcome to Our Communiversity Today. I'm Dr. Ramon Stuart, president of WVU Tech here in Beckley. And I'm thankful that you chose to be with us today as we explore Our Communiversity. I'm so glad that when we think about Our Communiversity and we think about the notion that the community is the university and the university is the community, one of the ways to bring us together, whether it's at midget league football, whether it's at middle school or high school athletic events, is through athletics. And today I'm proud to have in studio with us the athletic director of West Virginia University Institute of Technology, Kenny Howell. And Kenny's going to talk to us a bit about the way Golden Bear athletics are doing things for the community here. So today, as we explore this topic, I want to invite you to think about two questions. That's simply, why not us and why not now? So right after this break, we'll be back with more Our Communiversity Today on News Talk WWNR.
Bank with purpose and Golden Bear pride. At Pendleton Community Bank, our WVU Tech Affinity debit card does more than make purchases. It makes a difference. Every swipe supports the William Bill Benn Student Success Fund, helping WVU Tech students facing financial hardships stay on track to achieve their dreams. Show your school spirit and help shape the future, one transaction at a time. Visit yourbank.bank to get started today. Pendleton Community Bank, here for students, here for community, here for you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
There are so many ways to explore WVU Tech. Come tour our state-of-the-art facilities, meet our Dean of Students, and learn about student life, from clubs to mental health resources and student support services. See what living on campus is like and get financial aid advice. You'll see why being a Golden Bear is right for you. Visit wvutech.edu/admissions for all the ways to visit our campus.
Just like Cucumber, build your site. Right now it's old and broken, but we'll bring it back to life. Come to Cucumber for your site. We'll always treat you right. Come get a really killer website.
Your broken website doesn't need to give you fright. Call Cucumber and Company, and we'll fix it right.
Welcome back to Our Communiversity Today. Again, we are visiting with Kenny Howell, who serves as the athletic director at WVU Tech here in Beckley, to discuss the role that athletics plays here in Southern West Virginia at the collegiate level. How are you today, Kenny?
Good. How are you, sir?
You know, I better not complain. You know, all my good days still outweigh my bad days, and it's always a great day to be with the people of Southern West Virginia as we talk about Our Communiversity. Now, Kenny, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Native Southern West Virginian. Grew up in the little town of Pipestem in Summers County, about a mile from the state resort there. Grew up as a sports junkie. My uncle was a three-sport athlete at Concord University, and I decided that golf was going to be my sport of choice. It seemed to be the one that took the least amount of training and work. So
golf takes the least amount of training. Is saying that to the guy that struggles to hit a golf ball straight.
Well, that's the engineer in you, I think, is why you struggle to hit a golf ball. But I spent most of my youth playing golf, played some baseball, a little bit of basketball, and actually went to Salem D2 school in the northern part of the state on a golf scholarship, and was a 4-year letter winner there. Was WVIAC Senior Scholar Athlete of the Year in 2002, and actually went back to work there for a couple years before I came to Tech in 2005.
So not only a standout athlete, but also a scholar.
Well, I was a scholar. I won't know if we'll say the word standout, but I did graduate with a 3.75, so I did something correct.
Okay, he can hit a golf ball straight, and he graduated with a 3.75. It sounds like he had his head on in the right direction there at Salem.
Well, there wasn't a lot to get into up there, I'll tell you. It was a small valley town, just like many of these old coal and railroad towns here in the southern part of the state. So it was something I was very familiar with and comfortable with.
Yeah, so certainly you understand these country roads here in southern West Virginia, being from Pipe Sim and having athletics a key feature in your life. And not only have you excelled in college or whatever, but I think you was recently recognized for your contributions to athletics throughout the state.
Yeah, went into the West Virginia Sports Hall of Fame there in Artie, the Tex Williams facility, which was an unexpected event and something that I was really flattered by, and not necessarily for my athletic prowess, but in over 20 years of administration here at WVU Tech, that was recognized and something that my family and I are very proud of.
Yeah, to be able to stand beside the legendary Tex Williams and have your actual picture and your accolades hung at his facility says a lot. Speaking of saying a lot, you talked about your upbringing and, playing golf and everything like that. What made you get into athletic administration?
To tell you the truth, I coached for a few years at the Division II level and actually coached here at Tech. And when I was asked to be the assistant athletic director, I felt something inside as far as a competitive drive, and that energy needed to go somewhere positive. So athletic administration kind of gives me the best of both worlds. I get to be around my passion, and I also get to be competitive on a day-to-day basis, but not have to be involved with the actual execution of the X's and O's of the event. So it actually worked out perfectly for us.
Yeah, excellent. And so you started as an assistant athletic director after spending some time coaching. Tell us a little bit about your journey from assistant athletic director to athletic director.
Yeah, I wore many hats. Was actually in admissions, was compliance, eligibility coordinator, sports information director, golf coach. And as the years progressed, obviously the administrative needs of the department increased, and I learned more on the job, and obviously became a more rounded administrator, and was actually interim in 2009 and took the full-time job here in 2013 as the head athletic director.
Excellent. So your tenure at Tech started in 2009. So you're coming up on 20 years, almost 16 years now.
Yeah, I was the interim in 2009, but I actually took the assistant's job the summer of 2006.
Okay, so you're really at 20 years,
20 years
here the next year. Wow, that is outstanding. And so, to set the record, you actually started in Montgomery.
Correct. Yeah.
Now, what was that like in terms of starting your athletic career in Montgomery?
Well, as I mentioned, small town West Virginia is something that I love and something that I'm very comfortable and familiar with. So, driving across Deepwater Mountain or going up Paint Creek was something that I actually liked. And that, 50 minutes in the car sometimes give me a chance to unwind and maybe get my thoughts together. If we had a hard loss or something difficult going on. But the city of Montgomery was a place that I grew very fond of, and the sports we had there and the opportunities we had there and the students that we had there were something that I always look back on with fond memory.
Yeah, like I said, I believe a couple of those country roads, and I can see the smile on your face when you look at those fond memories of Montgomery and you think about the integral role that athletics played there in Montgomery. But also athletics just in communities in general, whether it's the Upper Kanawha Valley or here in the New River Gorge region or so. So with that, you've been down here for several years, I think starting 2017. What has it been like bringing college level athletics back to Beckley?
The city of Beckley has been fantastic. They've welcomed us with open arms. But as I tell many folks, the facilities that we use here in town are obviously sometimes not ours. So logistically, we have to make sure that we've got our I's dotted and our T's crossed so that all of our teams have a place to play on a day-to-day basis. Because without the city of Beckley, we wouldn't be able to execute these sports because we rely on them very heavily.
Yeah, and so that's an interesting point, the reliance on others to make sure that we have adequate facilities. What are some of the places around town that you can find where Golden Bear athletics play?
Yeah, we play in softball at Fitzpatrick Park. Baseball is now at Epling Stadium. We play basketball at the Raleigh County Convention Center. We use the YMCA soccer complex for track and field and both soccer teams and the YMCA for our aquatics programs.
Yeah. So to tell you the truth, Communiversity at its finest, I think the one sport that we actually, or two sports that we play on campus in Van Meter Gym, volleyball and also wrestling.
Yep, correct.
Yeah. So, well, certainly, you know, it's a blessing to have an area that has received us, whether it's working with the City of Beckley, working with an entity like the YMCA or Raleigh County Parks and Recreation to work out at Fitzpatrick Stadium. And so with that kind of collaboration, with that kind of cooperation, how does it make it feel? Do you find a lot of community support?
We do find the community support, but I tell you, we'd love to see some more of the community partners at our games. I'd love to pack the convention center. I'd love to have, a section of Epling Stadium filled up, because I think we put out a good product, and we prove that on a day-to-day basis when we go up against Division II opponents and folks that Southern West Virginians are familiar with, whether that's Mountain East schools or Appalachian Athletic Conference schools. We fare very well, and we show that we're just as good as they are, and many times we're better than they are.
Absolutely. And so to get the fans and different people around the community out, how can they go and find out what sports are playing, where they're playing at, and what time they're going to get going?
Always log on to goldenbearathletics.com. Those schedules will be posted on the main page and the sport pages of those events. We've also talked to the folks here at Beckley Events. They're going to be placing our home games on the events calendar for the community as well.
And you talked about the community coming out to the games and such, and, is there a fee?
Well, we charge for two sports. We charge for basketball and women's basketball. That's it. Otherwise, you can come out and see your Golden Bears for free. Go to those venues and just enjoy the best of Division II and NAIA athletics each and every day.
Excellent. Well, now you talk about the athletic programs and everything along those lines. And, again, athletics plays an integral role in society in Southern West Virginia, but also at the collegiate level at WVU Tech. Tell me how many athletic programs you have.
We do have 19 programs. 17 of them are intercollegiate. We have esports and cheer, which we consider co-ed, but they aren't sponsored by the NAIA.
So esports, tell me a little bit more about esports.
Well, obviously, 6 or 7 years ago, esports became, a prominent expansion sport with the NAIA in Division II. So we here at Tech turned one of our computer labs into an esports lab. So now, what is the E for in esports? E is electronic sports.
So now, time out. I can go to college and play video games.
You surely can.
Yeah, sign me up. Sign me up.
And the video games change year to year. So, it's not necessarily in my bailiwick, but I have to pay attention each and every year to what games we're playing and who we're competing against. We just
Bank with purpose and Golden Bear pride. At Pendleton Community Bank, our WVU Tech Affinity debit card does more than make purchases. It makes a difference. Every swipe supports the William Bill Benn Student Success Fund, helping WVU Tech students facing financial hardships stay on track to achieve their dreams. Show your school spirit and help shape the future, one transaction at a time. Visit yourbank.bank to get started today. Pendleton Community Bank, here for students, here for community, here for you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Just like cucumber, build your site. Right now it's old and broken, but we'll bring it back to life. Come to Cucumber for your site. We'll always treat you right. Come get a really killer website.
Your broken website doesn't need to give you fright. Call Cucumber and Company, and we'll fix it right.
Looking for the best college decision in West Virginia? WVU Tech has just been ranked the top school in the state and is the college with the best return on investment. Our 6 ABET accredited engineering programs and nursing program are ranked in the top 100 in the nation. When you become a Golden Bear, you're choosing a top quality education that will pay off. Discover more at wvutech.edu today.
Welcome back to Our Communiversity Today. In studio is Kenny Howell, Athletic Director of the Tech Golden Bears. And you talked, Kenny, earlier about 19 different sports, and you was telling me about esports, and you told me that I couldn't play on the team. I could see it through your body language that they did not want me on the team. But you talked about esports is the second national title that actually Tech has won. Yeah. And the first one, I think you said, was in soccer.
Men's soccer. We won the USCA National Championship when we were in Montgomery back in 2009, and actually repeated that following year when we were in the USCAA.
Excellent. So, obviously, with 19 sports, you got soccer. Tell me more about the sports. Let's start with soccer.
Men's soccer, undefeated on the year, 11-0-2, ranked 19th in the country. And we're kind of proud to say that Saturday evening, men's soccer took the 46-game winning streak regular season away from Rio Grande, who was the leader in men's conference soccer play for us. So we've actually assumed the number one position and look to be in line to host that tournament, which will be coming up November 5th, 8th, and 12th if we were so lucky to reach the finals.
And so I think this is important for actual listeners. When you talk about hosting, as we do well, the City of Beckley, Raleigh County does well, because we have the opportunity to bring guests in from around the conference.
Absolutely. We have teams as far as Kokomo, Indiana, to St. Mary of the Woods, down to, the Midway universities in Kentucky. Those schools would be in our community, staying in our hotels, dining at our restaurants, and trying to make the conference finals themselves.
I love it. So not only do we win on the pitch or in competition, we bring economic growth and development to Raleigh County and the surrounding areas. But in higher ed, we have this thing called Title IX, which is parity between in athletics between male and female sports. What about female soccer?
Women's soccer just had a 7-game winning streak broken themselves on Saturday. So they had gone a month without losing a soccer game. So they're currently in the top 5 of the conference and looking to host themselves on the women's side. And, luckily for the community, that conference tournament overlaps with the West Virginia State Soccer Tournament, which is also hosted here at Klein Stadium in Beckley.
Excellent. So it sounds like we have the opportunity, because we're winning in competition, to bring new faces to this place called Southern West by God, Virginia. So now that's 2, and I don't think we have time to run down all 17 of the remaining, but tell me some more about Golden Bear Athletics in terms of, this is actually fall season. What other sports do we have going on in the fall?
We actually have golf. That's a split season, and they just won the River States Fall Championship. As you know, they're hosted out at Glade Springs, another one of our community partners. And men's golf has expanded to over 23 student athletes on our campus. And Coach Gooseman was the Harkle Road Coach of the Year coming off the River State Spring Championship.
Excellent. And again, you hear, audience, how the Golden Bear Athletics are using our facilities and our Communiversity partners to provide championship golf for people, and teams come from, how many different teams compete?
Well, we have 12 on the men's side, 9 on the women's side. So that's 21 different teams that came to Glade Springs over a 2-week period in the 3rd week of September.
So 21 teams traveling from a variety of states that are coming and sleeping here, eating here, and playing here. It sounds like we put some money into this Communiversity.
Absolutely. In 3 or 4 days, and they'll do that again in the spring.
Excellent. Well, certainly glad to hear that they're coming here, because they realize the resources that we have. So we've talked about soccer. We've talked about golf. Any other fall sports?
Well, we've got swimming that just kicked off last week. They just beat Midway University, and they actually use the YMCA downtown facility for their aquatics programs. And we will be hosting 2 meets in the second semester, so we'd love to have the community come out and see us there at the YMCA downtown complex.
Excellent. So swimming, you got soccer, you got golf. It sounds like we should be tired, but there's still more to the fall.
Well, as we talk about, basketball gets earlier and earlier every year. Basketball, literally, in both genders, scrimmaged last week. So the 18th of October was the start of men's and women's basketball season, and both had scrimmages. The men scrimmaged at Concord University, women scrimmaged at Davis and Elkin.
And for your coaches in both men and women's basketball, you got some local names that are pretty well known in the coaching circle.
Absolutely. Coach Akard, who's our interim head coach for the men's team, and you got, Coach Tez Jackson, who's a staple here in the community, was a high school coach here at Oak Hill for almost 25 years. And we are very fortunate to have two quality individuals on staff like those two. And we're looking forward to a great year. I tell you, November 1st at the Beckley Raleigh County Convention Center is going to be a really good time.
Yeah, and I was looking at something the other day. I saw that you had opened up the actual armory to a special group. Some of the assisted living people at Greystone are coming as your guests to the game on Saturday.
Absolutely, and love to have those folks. And Rob Moyer has helped us execute that agreement with Greystone, and we're going to bring those folks in front and center, and we hope they have a great experience.
Now, I love this, and I think I'm going to have to deem you the father of Communiversity, okay? Because it sounds like you were doing this already, but you take a group like Greystone, or you take a group in general, how can they gain access to an athletic event, a paid athletic event for a discount or no cost to them? How do they gain access?
Well, what we've done in the past with our Communiversity partners is just have the leader of whatever group that is, whether it be the VA, Greystone, whatever event that they want to have, just reach out to me, and we'll take care of any of the ADA needs, the ticketing needs, and whatever they need to do as far as transportation. We try to help organize that too. So they can contact me directly, and I'll take care of it.
Well, we definitely have your information, your contact information up on the website, which will be good for our users to actually click on. And speaking of Communiversity, our Communiversity sponsor, our Communiversity Today sponsor, Pendleton Community Bank, oftentimes buys out games like homecoming.
Absolutely.
That would actually give our particular fans an opportunity to come for free, to engage, to enjoy. We have our partners at Southern Communication going live from the tailgate. So it's really a Communiversity event.
It surely is. And, the folks at PCB and Pendleton Community Bank have even given us a little bit of money for a new Monty mascot and helped us with some promo items. So if you see some green cups at our basketball games, don't fret. Those are exactly what we want them to be. That shows our Communiversity partnership with Pendleton Community
Don't worry.
Bank.
I tell that institution that's over there in Kentucky all the time, yellow and blue makes green.
That's
okay,
right.
So that's what it's about. But yeah, thank you to Pendleton Community Bank and to our friends at Southern Communications for working with us as we go through and look to develop a Communiversity. So are there any other fall sports?
We have women's basketball going on top of the men's side. Coach Oz and his staff have done a great job putting together a new roster. The opportunity for men's wrestling, it's a great, when you talk about Communiversity, this is one of those things that kind of morphed into just a wonderful scenario for us. You have Coach Harris, who is obviously a PhD holder, who's a local principal, comes from a long line of wrestlers. His son was a wrestler here. Actually, he's going to come back and coach with him. So we're going to have Coach Harris, and one of the wrestlers is one of Joe's children, Tanner. So we'll have Coach Harris, and Tanner Harris will be wrestling for us.
I actually think you forgot one.
Oh.
Because there's a third Coach Harris by the name of Mindy Harris, who actually teaches nursing for us. But I'll tell you, I was at a wrestling match one day, and because we got wrestlers from all over the nation, I saw Mindy on her phone on Facebook Live taping matches for parents in Georgia and North Carolina so the parents could see their student wrestler.
And she's done that for years.
Yes.
And she's about as passionate a coaching spouse as I've ever seen, and is pretty knowledgeable in what she talks about. So
absolutely.
She is somebody that we like to have around.
I love it. And one of the things you applaud from nursing to the mat, but always committed to helping students do better and also be better. So after we look at the fall sports, obviously we thaw out a little bit. Hopefully our winter is not like it was last year. What do we have coming up from Golden Bear Athletics in the spring?
Obviously, our spring sports are golf on the men's side, and we'll have baseball and softball. and track and field that we'll do in the spring as well.
So now you talked about softball, women's softball being out at Fitzpatrick. Where will the men's golf team be?
Men's golf will be back out at Glade Springs. They are welcome there many times a week, and we appreciate the opportunity to be out there with those folks, because when you bring a small army out there, it's not easy to accommodate, and we appreciate the folks out there at the resort.
I love it. And so baseball, America's pastime and everything. Obviously, we're in the middle of the World Series and different things. I don't know who you're going for or whatever, but the hunt for October is always a good time. But we're going to be playing some baseball in the spring. Mm-hmm. When does that kick off?
Baseball will start in February. I know that doesn't sound like a February thing, but baseball actually, to get 55 games in between the start of February and the first week of May, they actually start. Many of our southern schools will start late in January. So out at Epling Stadium, as soon as the snow is off the ground, we'll be playing.
Excellent. And when you talk about our baseball coach has been here a while. We got a local legend in Joe that actually played in the major leagues, Joe Goddard. And then we had a student, if I'm not mistaken, this last year that got drafted to the pros.
Correct. We did have a student that got drafted to the pros. And you talk about students, Isaac Wingard was another one who signed a contract, who's back on staff with us as our pitching coach. So when we can keep the good ones and get them to come back into the organization, it's definitely a great day to be a Golden Bear when you can see all of those Tech connections on your staff.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, in studio with us today, again, Kenny Howell, the athletic director of your Tech Golden Bear. And we're going to take a short break. So stick with News Talk WWNR as we close out this edition of Our Communiversity Today.
Discover WVU Tech right in your backyard. With 6 ABET accredited engineering programs ranked among the top 100 for engineering and nursing nationwide, WVU Tech offers the best return on investment in West Virginia. Our small, supportive campus is home to high-demand programs in fields like hospitality and culinary, chemical forensics, and the only 4-year construction management degree in West Virginia. Learn more about all the exciting things happening at Tech at wvutech.edu today.
Bank with purpose and Golden Bear pride at Pendleton Community Bank. Our WVU Tech Affinity debit card does more than make purchases. It makes a difference. Every swipe supports the William Bill Benn Student Success Fund, helping WVU Tech students facing financial hardships stay on track to achieve their dreams. Show your school spirit and help shape the future, one transaction at a time. Visit yourbank.bank to get started today. Pendleton Community Bank, here for students, here for community, here for you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Just like cucumber, build your site. Right now it's old and broken, but we'll bring it back to life. Come to Cucumber for your site. We'll always treat you right. Come get a really killer website.
Your broken website doesn't need to give you fright. Call Cucumber and Company, and we'll fix it right.
Welcome back to Our Communiversity Today. Again, I want to thank our guest, Kenny Howell, who serves as the athletic director for Tech Athletics here in Beckley, West Virginia. And I want to thank Kenny for sharing his time and talent with our listeners and really giving us a great overview of how Tech Athletics, through its 19 different athletic programs, provides world-class competition. And, you know, when we think about the things that we do, the places we play, the community partners that we work with, Tech Golden Bear Athletics is truly the epitome of what it means to build a communiversity. And so I want to thank the young people that engage in athletics here. But most importantly, I want to invite our listeners to come out and cheer on your Golden Bears. So please visit wwnrradio.com for additional information about Tech Athletics and how you can help our community today for a brighter Southern West Virginia tomorrow.
You've been listening to Our Communiversity Today, sponsored by Pendleton Community Bank and Cucumber and Company, a production of West Virginia University Institute of Technology and Communiversity partner Southern Communications in Beckley. For more on this program and contact information, visit our website at wwnrradio.com.